Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
A Fistful of Daisies is a board game for the younger children. And in that respect, it is a little bit easier for me to review it, and I want to be a little bit more forgiving for it. But here's the problem with the game, is it's a roll and move. Now, you do get to draft the dice. I think that helps out the game a little bit, but really it's only 0, 1, or 2 spaces. And the decisions are pretty obvious. You only want to go to a space where you're by yourself, because the dueling you might lose, where if you go to a space by yourself, you're definitely going to get a flower or possibly a clover that will help you out. Sure, with the fighting, you can get more clovers, but you're taking a risk that you'll get nothing. Now, so that's a decision. I guess that's a decision that can go into it. The fighting itself, you're going to put them together, and they kind of almost roll themselves. In some ways, just rolling them is better, but it's not as thematic. I think it works fine because you take their butts and you kind of press it until they kind of fumble over, and it works okay. But there were many times where we had to go through 2, 3, 4 rounds of this fighting because they just didn't fall right, they didn't fall at all, or they fell in their stomachs where there's no spots, and it just didn't work as good. I feel like they started out with the toy factor first. I was like, how do we build a game around this? They did a fairly good job. The problem is, I think there is some strategic elements that's probably too old for who's actually going to enjoy this game. My kids that are a little bit older, like 10, didn't really enjoy it at all. He was like, Dad, this is a Purge. He doesn't want to purge anything. So it was really weird. I think my younger kid, who was 5, the rules were a little bit too much for him to kind of understand what was going on. So it was kind of like this little bit of a hit and miss. It's one of the few kids games I say, I see what they're doing here. It has a high toy factor. It's really, really cute. I like what they did, but it just kept falling flat for us. So it's not one that we can keep. And this one will be a Purge. So here are the components for a Fistful of Daisies. You can see really cool, like these cows are having a showdown at high noon or whatever. It's pretty cool. Gonna get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes, and you're gonna have the little bit of the board here. And the way this is gonna be put out, it's gonna go right around the box. The box will be part of the experience. Each player will get a little score thing that they'll be trying to fill in here, and you'll be getting these little grass things. And as you gain flowers, you'll put them in there. Each player will get one of these, which just is a reminder that you get 4 clovers, you get anything. There is a more advanced side where you can do some different things that are included. The cows are really going to steal the show here, as they are really, really super duper cute. As you can see, you get one of those in 4 colors. And they kind of have like a plasticky feel to them. They feel really, really good. They have different spots on the sides, etc. You're going to get the wooden dice. These are really big and chunky, really nice kind of Haba style ones. And you have the one special die. Little clovers and tokens, everything in here are very, very good. So here is the rule book. You're going to have a contents and setup. You can see a picture over that, which is just fantastic. You're going to open it up. First thing you're going to notice, it's printed all in color and has pictures and examples of how to do everything. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. You're on these Cow advice spots and instructions that will kind of help you out as you through the game. That's with all Space Cow games. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And the end of the game and end of round, how that's going to score. There is some variants here that you can do on the other side, some adjustments if you want to play 2 players, etc. But I found the rulebook to be very good. You might need less than 10 minutes to get through it, but the game is pretty simple to learn. Okay, each of the cows will go on the starting spot here on the shed. You're going to put the dueling thing in here, and you're going to take a number of dice based on the number of players, but always remember to include the special dice. On the player's turn, they're going to roll the dice, and they're going to choose one of these to move. If you're the first player, you can't choose the special die. So let's say the first player is blue, and he chooses a 2. He will simply move 2 spaces on the board. And because there are red flowers there and clovers, you can choose either a red flower or a clover. If the flower is available, you always want to take it and kind of get it based on your slot there. Then the next player, let's say red is next, he will move and he will go up 1. He can choose a white flower or he can choose a clover. So he's going to cover up one of his white flowers on this, and that will continue. If somebody takes the special die, that's fine. This player will move 1. Let's say it's white. The only difference between the special die is when you take this, you'll be first player next turn. That's what that kind of does. But because they're on the same location, the white person cannot just take a die. So what you're going to do is you're going to take them and interlock them here in their horns, and both players are going to push them from this side. And then when they fall over, you're going to look. This one has 2 spots. This one has 1. So red will earn 2 clovers. Now in the base game, if you get 4 of these clovers, you can trade them in and cover up any one thing, any one flower on your sheet. In the advanced game, there are ways that you can spend 2 and go in there and fight with somebody, or spend 4 and upgrade those. That's just a variant. And the last one is a 0, so pink won't move at all, but when you're in this location, you just grab a clover. So the idea is you want to keep going around the board doing that. The first player to fill up their board and get back to the shed will be the winner of the game. You can actually have more than one winner. If more than one person accomplishes it on the same turn, then they would just share the victory. Who should buy this game? This is going to be what I would tell you to buy if you have people who like the battle aspect. Like they like to take toys and fight them up, and that aspect is really going to shine the game. The roll and move, the drafting is interesting, and it does lead to some good decisions, I guess, as you're going through. But the battling is where this game's going to be. If they like to battle the Pogs or the spinny tops that they have that they battle out, any kid that might like that, this is going to be more appealing to them. If you have kids who don't like that kind of direct interaction, then this is not going to be a game for them. But this is one you might want to check out. It's called A Fistful of Daisies.